Welcome back into another episode of Hawks Nest. I'm Clay Harrell, joined by Justin Trevelyan and Bryce Graham. Guys, welcome back. It's a little different now. We're on Zoom. So how's everybody doing today?
Good. Not too bad.
Doing all right.
All right. So I guess, the last couple of times we've talked, we've been trying to find stuff to talk about. We've had nothing going on, but now men's and women's basketball is in full swing. We're going to go and start on the men's side. They open their season at the Negro League Baseball Museum Tip-Off Classic. They play Kansas City, and they get a win in their first game, 71-66. And then they drop a close battle to SIU, who I've made some crazy predictions about anything involving SIU on this show before. But they drop an overtime game, 87-79. So, Bryce, I'm going to go to you first. Early on, do you think we see the men's team improving off of last season?
Yeah, they're actually looking pretty good this year. They've improved a lot from last year, just the way they move the ball and how many points they're putting up per game. And they're keeping it pretty close with other teams. So I think they're going to improve their record this year.
And that's the thing is, I think they had 21 assists against SIU, which is, something you never saw last year. So I think the culture is changing. Justin, would you agree with what Bryce said?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think Coach Corns brought a great atmosphere to the team. And, they already have almost as many wins as last year, so they're definitely off to a hot start.
Yeah, in post-game of the SIU game, Eric Reed Jr., who had 17 points in the loss, we talked about how the culture he already could see was changing, how guys that were in there that wanted to win. So I think if you're a SEMO fan, that you look at that game and you might be like, oh, it's a lot of what happened last year. But in a way it wasn't, because I think the culture around the program has changed as a whole. I think people are going to be excited about this team. And you see a team like SIU that is making deep runs into the Missouri Valley tournament and giving themselves a chance to get into March Madness. I think we see SEMO in a spot like that here in a year or two. And that's honestly kind of how I feel. I think Corn has really changed the culture of this team. But on the women's side, they played Louisville really tough the other night. I think they lost by, 21, Justin? Was that what it was?
Yeah, right at 21.
21, and then they beat the University of Health Science and Pharmacy. They got a big game Sunday against Eastern Michigan. So, Justin, they're picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, definitely putting up 53 points on a team like Louisville, who they have a chance to be national champions at the end of the year. So I think that's a great showing by an OVC team.
That, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Louisville had the preseason Naismith watch list player of the year or something, Haley Smith as a freshman. So I think that if you watch that game, some of the adjustments that Coach Patterson made in that game, it was a 6-point game in the third quarter. So I think you can't hate on that. And I think SEMO's, women's, you kind of knew what you were going to expect to see them at the top of the conference. Bryce, do you think we see them win the OVC this year?
Yeah, I think they repeat again, but they will make it into the tournament this year, and they won't they won't get gypped because of COVID again.
I think the team to look out for, if they're going to maybe not win this conference, is going to be UT Martin or Belmont. Those are the two teams, kind of like it was last year. Justin, will you say UT Martin or Belmont, or do you think SEMO just is going to make a big run here and win the conference?
Well, I definitely think they could be close games, but I like our team. I like our coach to win the OVC.
I agree. And I think I'm looking here on the schedule really quick. Conference play starts for women's December 19th. UT Martin's in town, and then December 18th for men's UT Martin's in town. So I guess with COVID, they're trying to space things out so it's not two games on a night. But that's kind of jumping right into it. And another thing, just random, UT Martin's men's team, they get Illinois on Saturday, the number 5 team in the nation. So, the OVC schools are going out and getting big tests on the men's and women's side. But the last question I have, we've spent a lot of time talking about SEMO. Have you guys watched any other of the college games going on, Justin?
I've been watching a few here and there. I think Illinois looks really good. Texas is strong. Duke, as always, is going to be up there. Same with North Carolina.
You think North Carolina's looked a little disappointing, or do you think they were just playing some decent teams there in the Maui?
I definitely think they were playing some good teams, but Coach Williams, he'll figure it out.
All right. Bryce, do you watch any of the games going on?
I have not, but I know Duke's a powerhouse in college basketball.
Duke's a powerhouse. Yeah, I can agree with that. I want to see Illinois make a run this year. I want to see them.
That would be cool to see them.
I think they're good enough. They got 2 really good players, and then obviously Coach Underwood does a really good job with that team. But I think that's going to cover it today for this episode of Hawks Nest. I think this is the last one until next year. We might keep it going through a Christmas break, seeing what we can go. But, guys, thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Be sure to tune in next semester when Hawks Nest returns back in video form.